In 1822, Champollion pronounced to the world that he had the choice to disentangle the old Egyptian language, and that the development of words in the Egyptian language didn't rely upon a letters altogether only, yet on signs that give a value to one letter, one more to two, and a third to three. He asserted the usage of complement marks close to the completion of words to choose the significance of the word, and subsequently experts after him completed what Champollion had started as for the constants associated with the old Egyptian language. This step was the way to uncovering the wizardry and mystery of Egyptian turn of events, and the farewell of Egyptology among other human sciences. In any case, a couple of assessments at different time frames, the most recent of which was the concentrate by Dr. Okasha al-Dali, through which he gained his doctorate, showed that Bedouin Muslim specialists set forth strenuous endeavors, yet not generally successful, to choose the phonetic worth and ramifications of a couple of old Egyptian words. Deciphering the Rosetta Stone, researchers began translating the Greek text, and researchers Sylvester de Sacy and Akerblad showed uncommon interest in the demotic substance, and the essential critical stages in the field of hieroglyphic substance came due to the English scientist Thomas Young, who got a copy of the Rosetta Stone in 1814 advancement, and who expected that the cartouches in the hieroglyphic message contained celebrated names. The world relied upon other equivalent texts, for instance, the point of support found in Philae in 1815. Advancement, which recalls a text for Greek and another in hieroglyphics. Yet despite that, Champollion remains the individual who has the best credit for handling the enigma. After he put forth a lot of hypotheses and begun to disentangle them after he read the name of Master Ptolemy in Greek, and that the name would be reiterated in the hieroglyphic and demotic messages. The Rosetta Stone included one cartouche that was repeated on numerous occasions, including the name of ruler Ptolemy, which is the name that appeared on the Philae point of support, despite the name Cleopatra, where Champollion recorded the signs associated with the Ptolemy cartouche and numbered them, and did in like manner for the Cleopatra cartouche found on the Philae stone monument, considering the way that the two names share the phonetic worth of specific signs like the letters B, T, and L. He in like manner kept comparative two names in Greek and the amount of each letter, and dissected the principal sign of the name Ptolemy in hieroglyphics with its similar in his name in Greek. Champollion had the choice to choose the phonetic worth of a couple of hieroglyphic signs, considering their phonetic worth in Greek, and with the continuation of extra assessments, he had the choice to know the phonetic worth of many signs. The story of the Rosetta Stone. The verifiable scenery of the Rosetta Stone follows as far as possible back to Walk 29, 196 BC, when the Egyptian priests' affiliation met in the city of Canopus and acquainted a letter of congratulations with ruler Ptolemy V on his advancement to the favored place of Egypt, and expressed thanks to him for barring the safe havens from charges due to the diminishing in the flood. The thanks were kept in all of the items and lingos used in Egypt, and without these tongues, the Egyptian human advancement would have remained a confusing mystery starting as of late. This declaration was kept in 3 items, in the solicitation for their arrangement beginning to end: hieroglyphics, demotic, and Greek. The greatest piece of the hieroglyphic substance and a little piece of the Greek text have been lost. The pastors expected to keep this because of the Ptolemaic ruler in the power script, which is the hieroglyphic substance, and the ordinary substance transcendent in this time period, which is the demotic substance, and subsequently in the Greek substance, which is the substance wherein the language of the Ptolemies, who included Egypt, was created. On July 19, 1799, a fighter from the French entryway found the Rosetta Stone in the heavenly individual Julian Castle in the city of Rosetta. The mission went outside Egypt, but Champollion got a copy of the stone, as did various researchers, and focused on it with unprecedented interest in hieroglyphic substance, contingent upon his long contribution with Old Greek and Old Vernaculars in general. After its divulgence, the trailblazers suggested that the stone contained one text in 3 particular items, and it later turned out that their thought was correct. The stone was then moved to Cairo, and the commandant of the French hall, Napoleon Bonaparte, mentioned a couple of copies of it to be made open to those excited about Egyptian improvement in Europe generally and in France explicitly. However, in 1802, under the Arish Plan shut between England, drove by Power Nelson, and France, drove by Commandant Menu, England got the stone and different antiquated rarities, and subsequently the stone showed up at Britain and has remained there straight as of recently. The Rosetta Stone is arranged in the English display lobby. It is made of flighty stone, 113 centimeters high, 75 centimeters wide, and 27.5 centimeters thick, with parts missing from the top and base. It had a novel person in Egyptian history. Notwithstanding the section of millennia, the antiquated Egyptian civilization keeps on moving the entire world, particularly since large numbers of its insider facts stay slippery to researchers and analysts who are attempting to unwind its secrets right up to the present day. Throughout the long term, the place that is known for hieroglyphics and sacrosanct felines has been a rich subject of exploration. However, there is still a long way to go. Here are a few things that stay unexplained. How did Tutankhamun kick the bucket? Ruler Tutankhamun might be quite possibly of the most well-known pharaoh, notwithstanding his initial demise. Yet the response to the inquiry, how could he kick the bucket, is as yet muddled. In 2013, a gathering of English specialists delivered a narrative named Tutankhamun, The Secret of the Copied Mummy, wherein they put together their examination with respect to X-beam pictures taken of his mummy in 1968, alongside CT filters directed by the preeminent Board of Relics in Egypt in 2005. The film showed that he had experienced critical harm to his ribs, notwithstanding a messed-up leg, driving the group to reason that Tut in all probability kicked the bucket in a chariot mishap. Public Geographic highlighted different potential outcomes, saying that a kick from a pony pulling a chariot might have been the reason for his demise. One more hypothesis from Public Geographic proposed that an assault by a hippopotamus might have been the reason for his demise. Away from creatures, different specialists accept that the secret of the vanishing of a portion of the ruler's ribs is because of criminals from the Second Great War period, taking them to arrive at significant dots that were on his chest. One more hypothesis set forward by the top of the Italian establishment for mummies, teacher Albert Zink, in the wake of depending on 2000 PC outputs and DNA testing of Tut's family, was that Tut kicked the bucket in an almost unthinkable chariot mishap. Zink accepted that Tut likely kicked the bucket since his body was feeble, as his dad and mum were kin. Where is the grave of Alexander the Incomparable? Hardly any individuals have verged on administering the whole known world at that point, like Alexander the Incomparable, but for such a renowned man, nobody knows where he is covered. The Diary of Paleontology distributed 2 articles by Robert Bianchi in 1993 and 1995 about the quest for Alexander the Incomparable's grave and found there was never expected to be a grave, since Alexander needed to be tossed into the Euphrates stream upon his passing in 323 BC, so his devotees would accept he had vanished and rose to paradise to accompany his dad. In any case, his commanders decided to cover him, all things being equal, and it is accepted that he wound up covered in 3 places. The principal in Memphis, the capital of the Old Realm in Egypt. During the 4th or 3rd century BC, he was moved to another burial place in Alexandria, and later he was given another burial place likewise in Alexandria. The burial chamber was possibly harmed and vandalized sooner or later, and presently no piece of the burial chamber or even Alexander's body exists, and nobody realizes what has been going on with it.